Thank you, everyone. So good morning, good people. I'd like to open with a prayer. Gracious God, we give thanks for military men and women from the past and present for their courageous service and sacrifice to our country and its people to secure the blessings of life, liberty, and justice for all. May our remembrance be a timely reminder that our freedom was purchased at high cost and should not be taken for granted. Give us resolve to labor in faithful service to you until all share the benefits of freedom, justice, and peace. Amen. I'm blessed to give some opening remarks today, and I want to base them on that phrase, thank you for your service. It's a commonly shared phrase today, and to be honest, it took me a while to get used to hearing it and saying it. I imagine most people in the military serve for different reasons, and I, for one, never expected to be thanked for it. Nevertheless, today I will use that phrase to thank those who have served through time, those whose voices were not often heard, to amplify their voices, if you will, and to appreciate those who gave some or who gave all in doing their duty. First, Crispus Attucks, a name we probably are familiar with. He was a man of African and Native American descent. He is traditionally regarded as the first person killed in the Boston Massacre, and as a result, the first American killed in the American Revolution. Supporters of the abolition movement lauded him for playing a heroic role in the history of the United States. His ancestors and mine were part of the Middle Passage, the Ma'afa, the African Holocaust, when Africans were forced on slave ships bound for North America, the Caribbean, and South America, suffering through the practice of chattel slavery that almost led to our nation's demise. Thank you for your service. When the Civil War erupted in 1861, leading abolitionist Frederick Douglass began placing a steady stream of pressure on the Lincoln administration to include African Americans in the Union Army. Douglass famously wrote, "Once let the black man get upon his person the brass letters U.S., let him get an eagle on his button and a musket on his shoulder and bullets in his pocket, and there is no power on earth that can deny he has earned the right to citizenship." In 1863, Lincoln finally allowed black soldiers, and approximately 180,000, 10% of the Army, served. To those brave black soldiers who restored our Union, thank you for your service. Marcelino Serna, an undocumented Mexican immigrant who insisted on serving in the U.S. Army in World War I. He returned home as the most decorated soldier from Texas. Serna had to fight for his right to fight. He argued successfully twice against officials, once while in Texas to allow him to leave, and once he arrived in Europe. While engaged with the enemy in France, Serna noticed a wounded German sniper and followed him back to his trench, where Serna threw 3 grenades, killing 26 enemy soldiers and capturing 24 more. Later, General John J. Pershing awarded him with the Distinguished Service Cross, the second highest U.S. military decoration. The Supreme Commander of the Allied troops also awarded Serna with the French Croix de Guerre for bravery. To the brave Latinx soldiers, thank you for your service. Code talkers were people employed by the military during wartime to use their little-known native language as a means of secret communication. There are approximately 400 to 500 Native Americans who served in the United States Marine Corps, whose primary job was to transmit secret tactical messages. Code talkers transmitted messages using formally or informally developed codes like turtle for tank, built upon their indigenous languages. The code talkers improved the speed of encryption and decryption of communications and frontline operations during World War II and are credited with a number of decisive victories. Their code was never broken. To the brave Native American soldiers, thank you for your service. Asian Pacific Americans have served with great honor and valor in defense of our nation since the 19th century. Many had immigrated to the US, and they soon found opportunities to serve in uniform. After World War I, soldiers of Asian ancestry were granted citizenship in recognition of their contributions in battle. After the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1942, Japanese Americans faced discrimination and were forcibly moved from their homes into isolated internment camps. However, many joined the military during World War II to defend the nation they loved. In addition, Filipino Americans, Korean Americans, and over 20,000 Chinese Americans participated in the war effort. Individuals from all these groups integrated into the ranks of the U.S. Armed Forces and served with distinction from then all the way through the Cold War. To those brave Asian American soldiers, thank you for your service. Soon, a recent Penn West Clarion graduate who participated in ROTC and the women's swimming team, Courtney Kasanovic, will complete the Infantry Basic Officer Leader course. Then she will go to Ranger School, the Army's toughest course and premier small unit tactics and leadership school. To all recent and soon to be graduated ROTC cadets, thank you for your service. Every day, 22 veterans lose their battle to post-traumatic stress on American soil. That's one veteran every 65 minutes. Reach out to a veteran today that you know and say, thank you for your service. And to all the mothers, all parents, siblings, relatives, spouses, partners, and friends, but especially mothers who bravely conceal their concerns so that soldiers can soldier on, thank you for your service. Next on our agenda is a video from the Honorable Representative Donna Oberlander. She's a Clarion University graduate and the first female Republican whip of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. Upon graduation from Clarion, she married her high school sweetheart, a United States Marine stationed in Quantico, Virginia. While in Quantico, Oberlander worked for a government contractor tracking radio communications for Navy ships.